can let the chat open, please do it. And I just posted there that we are going to have 90 minutes. I know that some people need to leave early, no problem. And just be aware of all the alerts and distractions you may have on your surroundings. And if you want, like me, paper and pen to take notes, or some, another way to take notes, it's good. It's always good. And over to you, Fernando.
Okay, welcome everyone. Let me see. Oh, Kathleen's saying hi from Auckland. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so if you're not used to this gathering, it's a Liberating Structures practice. So we have some different formats. The format today, the Wise Crowds, where we'll be designing a session or sessions. I think we can have two groups with Liberating Structures. So the goals are very simple: to improve your practice, to discover new possibilities combining the structures, and also to connect with other people practicing or exploring for the first time. So sometimes we have people new to this subject. And the agenda, it's straightforward. We are just finishing this welcome, attention, and presence, orientation, connection. And then we will be doing one structure called Wise Crowds. And then we'll be doing another process to refine the agenda. And then we share what each group found on the process, highlights, and then we close. Anything else, Carolina, about the flight?
No.
Okay, so let's start just knowing your familiarity with Liberating Structures. So we have some options. These options were like growing along the time because people suggested. Some people know a lot and practice often. Some people know a lot and don't practice. Some people know little and practice often. Some people don't know what it is. So it's all good.
And this mix is so good to have here, and how we share and learn together. Nice.
7 people answer, 8. Now I can, let's share this. So we have some ninjas, couple ninjas, 3 people in the, not black belts, but with some belts, and some people still looking for more information. Nice. All good. It's a good mix.
Yeah, and to start off our session here, we are going to do the improv networking, which is Liberating Structures. And the purpose of it is to rapidly share challenges and expectations and build new connections. So we're going to start with that. We have 2 questions. Actually, one of the question has 2 in it. And so you're going to talk about those questions in a pair. And you're going to have 4 minutes, more or less 2 minutes per person, to talk about how did you come across Liberating Structures, if you did, and what do you hope to take away from the session, and how you can contribute here with these people. And so we're going to have 3 rounds, and so we're going to meet different people, 3 different people, and same conversation.
See you in 4 minutes.
We are back. Okay, so same questions, and it's in the chat. And probably you're going to have another person with you to have that conversation.
We will.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. Here we go. Here we go. 3rd round.
Yeah, 3rd round.
I'm doing manually to make sure you find a new person when you get there. Always someone amazing. Here we go. Last round.
Oh, never mind.
Here we are.
Here we are. Cassie is back as well.
Awesome.
Okay, Carolina, we need 2 clients. It's me doing the...
Good too. You put yourself there.
Oh, I never check who is doing what. I should, but... Okay, so we'll be doing the wise crowds. For if you don't know how wise crowds works, it's in the chat. Basically, you have a small group between 4 and 6 people, no more than this. One person will be the client in each round. So this client presents a challenge or a request for help for the group. This is a small group of 3-4 people. 3 minutes. After these 3 minutes, consultants, the other guys, will ask clarifying questions just to try to understand better what the challenge is. And after the 6 minutes, 3 and 3, the client just turn the camera and mic off and get ready to take notes. In face-to-face, people just turn their backs to the group, and then consultants go crazy. They start creating solutions, options, recommendations, questions. They just use these 9 minutes among themselves to try to solve that problem. And after these 9 minutes are gone, the client comes back and share what was valuable. So it's key for the client to stay without contact with the group, but listening carefully. In this way, the consultants, they don't have a clue if they are like doing a good job, pleasing the client or not. So they are really free to contribute. So this is the 1 round. When you're doing wise crowd with a group, if you have like half an hour or 45 minutes, you can do 2 or 3 rounds. Not everybody will be a client, but it keeps going in the group as you have time. In our case, we'll be just doing 1 round, and then we'll have another process to go deeper and design a session using liberating structures. So we need 2 clients. Who has a challenge or an event coming up that you want to use liberating structures? So Carlos already has 1 spot is taken. We have a 2nd spot for free.
Free consultation today with these amazing people.
Amazing consultants.
Okay.
Don't be shy.
Emmeline. Yeah.
Okay.
How do I pronounce your name? Sorry.
Emeline.
Emeline.
So I will put 1 red dot in your name just to make my life easier. I can spot you right away. And Carolina, you take over and explain what will happen again.
Yeah.
The next steps, right? The reference for the matchmaker and so on.
Yeah. I'm just copying and pasting the chat. Okay, so we are gonna do the same what Fernando just explained. So the 3 minutes, the client's gonna present the challenge or the request for help. So in this case, what is the event that you have and you need help? And after this 3 minutes, the consultants are gonna ask clarifying questions. And then the client turn off the camera and the mic, and the consultant is going to recommend liberating structures to be used on this event. So this is kind of going specific on the liberating structures for the recommendations and tips, and it's a brainstorming. You can just like think whatever you think it will be useful for that challenge. And after that, we are going to have more time to refine. But now it's more like, okay, I think you should do this and that, and don't bother too much on the sequence or this kind of thing. And so then after these 9 minutes, the client just shared what was valuable, and then we are going to be back. And in the chat, we have 2 resources there. So it's the Liberating Structures menu and the matchmaker. So all the 33 structures are there if you want to check.
And the purpose of each structure. So 1 tip for you, if you're not familiar with all the structures, but if you spot a purpose in 1 structure that fits the client needs, choose that structure. Even though you don't know the structure itself, put it on the string. And you'll be discussing after this wise crowds, this moment, we'll have another moment where we'll be using the shared document to work together and design the string with the client. So, and then we'll go deeper. And Carolina will be in one group and me will be in one another. So you will have help.
Yeah.
All good. So clients, Emily and Carlos, are you ready? So one of the consultants must be the timekeeper. Unforgiving timekeeper. It's not just a timekeeper. You are unforgiving. Okay? So see you in 16 minutes back in the room.
Yeah, welcome back. Wow, Carlos, it's like a smile.
Well, Carlos, we ran out of time on Carlos. We thought we had another minute. We were going 3, 3, 9, and 1.
Mm-hmm.
And did we mess up the timing? Did we get?
I think I just must have started it a bit slower. I'm so sorry. I was really trying to be on time.
Well, yeah, but so I don't know, Fernando. Do we?
Yeah, one mistake
No.
that people make. Sometimes you take care of the timings, but usually you don't take care of the bit in between the timing. So
Sometimes it happens. Yeah. We just we have like 5 minutes to go to deeper on each group. So we just want to listen to Carlos and Emily. How was the experience being a client in a Wise Crowd?
I did a mistake. I muted them. I thought I was not supposed to listen to their brainstorming moment. Big mistake. So then we had a little time to share all together what they brainstorm about. So, but that was very interesting. For sure, my topic wasn't very clear and concise. So yeah, that's my experience. But it's very interesting to have like a few people brainstorming and have different ideas and bring like their knowledge and their thoughts, ideas. It's very insightful.
Thank you.
I loved it. I use this a lot. I just don't get to be a client very often, if at all. So I loved to indulge myself in it and got so many useful thoughts and ideas. Now I've got like 3 different workshops I want to run now because of what Sonia, Dave, and Freda were talking about. But there was something I think what I got from it is what was helpful is like there's maybe too much given the time that I have to do. And there was what came up for me was this idea, actually, what's the real purpose? And I think it isn't necessarily delivering content, it's creating connection. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think stuff like the 1, 2, 4 all and something around getting all voices heard, this idea, focusing on that as opposed to, I'm going to teach a tool. So that was what came up there.
Yeah, I think it's very nice. So the way how we structure the Wise Crowds, the first piece, what you just did, it's more like kind of a brainstorming. And usually what happens is like, what I really want here, what are the real purpose of my event? So it started being clear or more clear. And now we are gonna have time to, okay, let's dive deep and have the strings ready for the event.
You made just quick comments from the consultants. How was for you the Wise Crowds?
Well, I'll start. I really, really liked it because we were so focused, and Carlos did an exceptionally good job of giving us what he was trying to, what he was going to do and what he tried to do, and what he shared was rich and fun, and we're kind of excited for him, and to be able to interact, as a team. In this case, it was Freda and Sonia. I mean, just that experience of coming together kind of in an intense mode with time pressure to try and give it our best was really fabulous. I loved the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Same, I'll just build on just the description in terms of what Carlos was looking for and what he was actually seeking, and setting up the scenario made it very intentional in terms of the next steps. And so much so that I want to connect with him on LinkedIn because I want to know how it turns out. So
Me too.
Yeah, there is one practice that we did with Carlo was amazing about writing and LinkedIn. So I'll send you the link later.
Yeah.
But that's Carlo has to leave in 10 minutes. Let's start the next part and then he can leave. Okay, but you'll be key on the moment on this next 5 minutes, Carlo. Let me just share with you what we'll be doing. So we'll give you access to this document, and you'll be using the icons, and each group has one slide to work on. So at the end of this next 60 minutes, we'll have a string or maybe a couple strings showing the structures that we are planning to use. So here we have some tips, but we can go about this later. So you can see here, Carlos, Frida, Sonia, and Dave will be here. You start writing the critical objectives in order here. That's the first step. And then you start going back and forth, picking the structures you told. So copy and paste on this slide. And then you start like designing visually the string together. That's the plan. So Carlos will be key for you to be in the room just to make the critical objectives clear. And then you're free to go. The consultant will stay working and you receive this and an invoice after. So.
Thank you. I feel really bad that I have to go.
Yeah.
No problem. So I'll open the rooms quickly. Did you put the link in the chat, Carolina, for the...
No, I'm going to put now.
Yeah, so you just click on the link, will open the document. It's editable, and you'll be there with you as well. So let me pause here.
Fernando.
The main room.
Yeah, just I was recording to send to Carlos after, and I couldn't stop the video.
But it was stopped now because
Okay.
it's yeah.
Okay.
I just start played on. Probably will record it locally.
Okay.
When you leave the session, it will be available for you.
Okay.
Do you want to start sharing the highlights? I'll put in the chat what we'll be doing right now. The idea is to have a very brief presentation of the context, and then we can get be on the same page. And then you can share highlights and insights for the strings or the structure you chose for the process, or the design process as a whole.
Are you gonna share the screen?
I can. Who wants to start?
Dave, Frida? Yeah, we can go.
I'm new, so I feel like everything I feel like I need to announce that. But to me, what seemed really interesting is that is how, or I'm curious, but we knew that Carlos had already 2 things he was going to be teaching in his event, and so we were able to he's planning a full day event for new business development, but really to build community among social entrepreneurs, maybe is a good way to talk about it, and to help them not only walk away with tools, but really walk away with a sense of connection and purpose. And so he'll be teaching 2 tools about dream mapping and success canvassing. And he has a third that after our first round of consultation, he decided is probably too much for one day. And then we were thinking about which of those tools might be supported by some of the liberating structures through the sort of teaching of or lead up to teaching those tools. So what I was curious about through the process is how to distinguish, like when there are tools that might complement one another, the 9 Whys or the HSR seem like they build connection and empathy, might be good ways to begin sort of a dream mapping, visioning process for the people who are there. And then we were thinking about success canvas, which is really about taking an idea and thinking what success looks like. and looking at those other on the right column as sort of potentially supportive structures to teach or reflect on what gets developed there. So that's where we got. I thought it was generative. We needed more time. Dave, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I always feel we need just a little more time, not to have it run away, not to lose track of everything, but you know, it just another couple of minutes in most of these would really help. But I know that's not something that we can do. But what I would say, I agree, Freda, with what you said exactly. And I think the fun part of this is, although Carlos had to leave, he has some good, I'd say, anticipation that this is going to be quite helpful. And, you know, I could tell right away that his ability to demonstrate liberating structures in the work that he's doing with his own practice area, with his own set of tools, is going to accomplish a really significant results and outcomes for him and his practice. Because I think that what's going to happen is his stuff combined with the liberating structure stuff that we've kind of proposed is going to give the participants a couple of things. One is their lives, their professional lives are going to be sharpened, no doubt, by his tools. They're also going to be exposed maybe for the first time to what liberating structures is and can do. And I think what's going to happen as a result of that is Carlos's community that he's serving is going to create a very strong trust with him for what he's contributing and what he can do potentially moving forward. So from a business development point of view for his practice, I think it's a brilliant path. And I have high confidence that we're going to high five him when it's all done.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the thing that's going to help, and Freda mentioned this, is around, you know, initiating a real genuine sense of community and sharing and contributing to each other's success, which is, you know, somewhat rare these days. So I think I'll end with this. I think that he's got a really good idea. I think he's ready to go. I think that the time he had with us was helpful and valuable, and I call that a success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably he'll be infusing these structures along a bigger process, right?
Yeah, he has he sent us a lot of material before he left, and so we were like, oh, this and this, and I believe that in his toolbox has a lot of things that he can infuse. I don't know if the right word, the liberating structures to, you know, bring more.
Yeah, to enhance the process.
Yeah. And I think that just to end this, I think that the eco-cycle planning that he mentioned, I think it's a very good one to work in maybe in the end of the afternoon or something. Yeah.
And we will have in December one practice just on eco-cycle. So we'll be diving deep on eco-cycle. In November, we'll be doing the same with wicked questions. And December eco-cycle, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway.
And let's go for the other group. Right?
Yeah. Start the
thank you, Dave and Freda. And let's go for, oops, it's not this one. It's
11.
Emmeline.
Maybe a quick context, Emmeline, and then we talk about the structures.
You want me to give some context? Is that it?
Yeah, for the other group, because the other group, they don't have a clue about what is this.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure I did like I'm not sure I chose the right example as a challenge. I maybe missed some, I wasn't understanding properly. So what I brought is that I'm building my business at the moment, and my niche is for creative entrepreneur with ADHD, high sensitivity, and multiple potentiality. And I make jewelry, and I've realized like last week that they are actually very connected. My clientele is the same. My brand for my jewelry is atypical, and I'm serving the client who wants to embrace their uniqueness and loves symmetrical jewelry and all. And I'm also, I did many years as a makeup artist and as an esthetician. So I was thinking through actually a conversation with a client that this skill, the last one, could be used in my coaching. I could offer service to help my client entrepreneur improve their image by nurturing their skincare, their skin. I don't know if I can say that, but improving their skin care routine, because it's their image on a daily basis. So I was trying to understand how I can use this, since I've realized that my jewelry brand and my coaching practice are the same client, and I have these other skills that I could connect it to my business. I was just thinking, I'd love at some point, like my main goal would be to practice all of them, but how can I make it possible? How can I connect these practices and these skills to make it not necessarily one, but to just create a connection between all of them? It wasn't very clear when I explained it to the group, but yeah,
it's getting clearer.
Sorry.
You want to go, Kathleen, to explain the structures, more or less why you chose each one and how they're going to be used?
Lou, could you start us off and I could do the last ones? And if not, that's okay.
Sure. So we started with 9 whys and purpose to practice, just to get input from people about like what they're hoping to see, what the goal of this would be. And then we also included celebrity interview and UX fishbowl. So the thought behind this was potentially having other creatives who have done this work of kind of integrating multiple fields together, so that she could kind of find out like how they did that, what their process was like, what worked for them. Oh, and I think appreciative interviews was another potential process for kind of finding out from others what's worked for them too.
And then this idea, and Fernando brought in the wicked questions, that by kind of clarifying what the question is, I think, and what Emmeline is trying to do is combine things and not get into either or thinking, but really look at the both and finding out where there's overlap between these different passions in her life. And so the idea of, once the wicked questions are clarified with, I think it maybe gives you a chance to kind of define a paradox. Then you could use integrated autonomy to look at the two opposing questions and find a way to combine them together. And therefore she could hopefully combine these passions that she has into kind of one focus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one idea that floated up was to use these structures by herself, like using alone, or maybe with one person helping her to, like a lateral thinking or being the interviewer, or yeah. So it works. Do you remember, Carolina, the story about the couple using critical uncertainties to discuss their marriage? And so there's so many application of liberating structures.
And also the eco cycle for the marriage.
Yeah. And these 3 structures, the celebrity interview, the fishbowl, and the appreciative interviews, are kind of a storytelling. So another good way is to gather people with experience and listen to them sharing this experience. It will be good for them, and it will be also good for Emily. So that's a very interesting way to get things going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think when you also like this storytelling kind of exercise, so this liberating structures, the HSR and the appreciative interview, to connect people in a way that is so good. And appreciative interview, it's a very warm one too, so people get connected.
Awesome. Helpful for you, Emmeline?
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Okay, you can make a copy of this document to get these ideas with you. And it's easy to find on the website, the names and the structures.
Yeah, I have the app too. It's very useful.
Yeah, some people love to use the app. I don't know. I don't like the app because it's on the phone. It's kind of small. I prefer the website I can open, or the book, but it's personal preferences.
But in the beginning, I think we used the app a lot, like during the event. it's like a very easy way to access rapidly, and you're just there. But then when you used to, maybe it's like,
I'm still on a logic. Or the cards. Do you have the cards, Dave, to show?
Can I ask a question about the book?
Yeah.
I don't have it yet, and I'm just seeing that it was published in 2014. Do you know if a newer one is coming out or?
Keith and Nancy, they are rewriting the book with looking at how can we do things virtually. So there are some tweaks and some new information, some like developments that happen along the pandemic, since the pandemic until today. So it's a kind of a second edition, but I'm not sure if it's
I believe that it's a new book.
I think it's a new book.
It's a new book, so it's not the same. It's a new book, and I believe that both will be a very good combination to have. So it's like, because the one that we have, it's like all the structures are there and it's easy to follow. You just like, and this new book will be something like to add, the virtual and all, because this book was written in before pandemic.
Yeah, 2010.
Yeah, so then in the pandemic, we used a lot of liberating structures virtually, and we learned a lot. And so they're putting this new book, all this kind of new versions of liberating structures in the virtual settings and some additions and some learnings and a lot of new things coming.
One example is instead of 1, 2, 4 all virtually, there is the 1, 3, 3 all. So how does that work? So this kind of things that they are cooking.
Yeah, and we have 5 minutes left, and we just want you to write in the chat what is your takeaway from this gathering today, and do not press enter, and just write it. And what is your takeaway from today, this 90 minutes together? And after you write it, just show your hands, and I know that you are ready. It's ready for the enter. Frida, Tolu, Emmeline, Catherine, everybody. Dave, are you ready? Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, enter.
We can go one by one, Carolina. We are a small group.
Yeah, we have 4 minutes just to wrap up here our sharing, our learning together. So if you want to express yourself like verbally, you are welcome to. Who wants to start?
I'll just say thank you for offering this session, and thank you to Emmeline and Carlos for sharing their challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm also really super grateful for this opportunity that Fernando and Carolina have made time for, to invite us to be together and to meet some new folks and exchange some great ideas. It's to my way of thinking, this is the way life should be. And I guess to Carlos's point, I'm in my happy place because of this. So thank you.
Same for me. For me, it's been I've been hearing about liberating structures and just really excited to finally be able to dig in and meet people who are so passionate about it. And I'm curious. I'd love to learn more and engage with it more.
Yeah, thank you. Emmeline?
Well, like I said, I'm very happy that I met new people today. I think I need to get a little bit more deep into the workflow to understand it a little bit better. And it just opened even more my curiosity about liberating structure. I just want to get into everything Kathleen and Tolu recommend me to do. So I'm just curious. I have my app in front of me. I'm going to go on the website too, because it's way easier when you have it in front. I agree. And I'm going to look into that and see how I can practice them myself and with individual during my coaching sessions, so I can integrate them easily.
Yeah, thank you. And Tolu.
I put this in the chat, but I just thought it was really helpful to actually create the strings of structures and see how that activity works out.
Nice. Yeah, thank you guys for coming. Next month we have another of this. So if you have more clients, we'll be creating more strings, and then we share and we learn more. So it's through practice. So thanks for coming. Hope to see you soon again.
Thank you.